Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, I want to hearken back, first, John, to an interview you did with Anthony Fauci. This is back in January 2020. And let's not forget what he told you in that interview, John. Take a listen.
Is it in China because of all the live animals that are being sold?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, China, among other countries, has a lot of close interaction and contact between people, particularly in crowded places, and what they call wet markets, where there are a lot of live animals that are being sold. And your suggestion, John, is really quite correct, that it's the proximity between people, the population of humans, and animals that could harbor these viruses, where it then jumps species, infects a human, and then humans infect each other.
Well, now we know from Fauci's diaries that he knew that the wet market wasn't the place after all. How about the Wuhan lab down the street? Well, joining us now is Miranda Devine, the great investigative journalist with the New York Post and host of Pod Force One. Miranda, this is a doozy. These diaries, which Rand Paul put out, oh my goodness, they show he was totally, it looks like playing America for a fiddle.
Yes, Rita, it really is a despicable reading. And look, I suppose we're not really, those of us who are wise to Anthony Fauci for a long time are not really surprised, but it is instructive to see there starkly in his own voice, in his own words, in his own diary that he never thought would see the light of day, that he just lied about absolutely everything. And, Bobby Kennedy Jr. has just revealed that Dr. Fauci, when he was telling all the rest of us that there was no issue with the vaccines and there was no problem, no risks, he had the vaccine and suffered a pulmonary infarction, which he didn't tell anybody about, which is a known side effect for some people. So everything he talked about, whether it be masking or lockdowns or the origins of COVID. And I remember that interview that John did with Anthony Fauci way back at the very beginning.
That was just about almost the first one.
It was. No, because I was writing about it at the time, and he just did not come across as plausible, and he was contradicting Donald Trump and all the obvious evidence. I mean, we have a lot more evidence since. And, of course, now we know he had a motive for covering up the true origins of COVID, which was, of course, the Wuhan lab.
So, Miranda, let me ask you, tomorrow he is going to be testifying. He has to testify tomorrow. What's he going to say? What is he going to take the fifth, or what's he going to do? He has that pardon, though. Remember, he got a full.
He did. He got
the full pardon from Biden.
Joe Biden.
I'm looking at Michael Cohen, who's here in studio. So the question is, what is he going to say? What do you think tomorrow, Michael?
I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest with you. I think he's going to give the non-responsive type answer, which is basically what he always does. And, these are his thoughts, and he said they don't mean anything. Me personally, I suffer from pulmonary issues. I took all 3 of the COVID vaccinations. Had I known what Fauci put into his diary, maybe it would have given me the information that I needed in order to make a proper determination if I should or should not have taken it.
And he himself had this problem, this health problem, too. I mean, that's the other thing. Judge, go ahead.
Miranda, you started to make the following point, which is there was a motivation on the part of Fauci to cover up the real origin. Would you explain that to our listeners?
Yes, because he was implicated in the funding of the dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses in the Wuhan lab. And the reason that he outsourced it to China was because during the Obama administration, some concerned scientists had come forward and said, this is too dangerous for us to be conducting in labs, in American labs, which are way safer than any Chinese lab. And the Obama administration listened and put a long moratorium on the use of gain-of-function research in America. And so Anthony Fauci was absolutely stubbornly wedded to this type of research. And so through a cutout called EcoHealth Alliance, he outsourced that dangerous research to a subpar lab in Wuhan, China, which also is suspected of being a Chinese bioweapons lab.
And
so,
didn't share it, right? Yeah. I mean, the key thing here, too, is that didn't share that.
He lied about it.
Right, he lied. I'm being too kind. You're right. He lied about it, didn't tell anybody. And also, I remember, Judge, we had Peter Navarro here, who was involved in all those discussions, as Michael knows. And he said there was never a time that Fauci told us about the funding with the Wuhan lab, that we kept bringing it up, and he never once brought it up. So, I mean, he consciously avoided not telling the president of the United States and the American public about it. I mean, that's outrageous.
Well, and more than just not telling, he, we now know, was instrumental behind the scenes in ginning up this dishonest scientific paper claiming that it was from the wet market. A pangolin in the wet market was the most likely origin. That was all dishonest. He pretended he had nothing to do with it, but then there were emails shared that showed that he was there whipping the scientists along. And remember, these scientists owe everything to Dr. Fauci because he had control of all the scientific research grants. So if you did what he wanted, you got a grant. If you didn't, he was vicious and vindictive. You just have to see the way he treated Scott Atlas, who was right about everything, brought in sadly too late into the White House coronavirus task force by Donald Trump, who smelled a rat with Anthony Fauci and Deborah Birx. But Scott Atlas was just vilified, as were Jay Bhattacharya and Martin Kulldorff and...
the media, Miranda did a real full court press to discredit those people, to make them look like they were fools.
And made Fauci look like he was like a hero. And now we know from his own diary, it's a whole different story.
Shameful what he did.
Yeah, Miranda, thank you so much. Always great stuff. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Maybe he'll be grilled, baked, and skewered. We'll see.
Well, in honor of the anniversary of him being grilled tomorrow, I told our WABC staff, the digital department, I told too, to put out the original Fauci interview.
Yeah.
And distribute it and put it on the WABC website.
Perfect. And we'll see all the contradictions, right? That'll be interesting. What do you think? That was a great interview, John.
Yes.
That was a great one.
6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Wow. Very timely, John. Miranda, thank you very much.
And what do we all stand for? Truth, justice, and the American way. God bless America.